Wow, that was actually really good. I am actually surprised. Hey, nobody listening to this. This is VGT Adam here, and I just finished watching the Microsoft press conference, and wow, they came out swinging. I guess they got tired of Sony actually beating them all the time at conferences and decided, hey, you know how they made their conferences work last time? Let's do that this time. And yeah, that was a really good conference. So they show off their wide variety of games, which are all first-person shooters. No, I'm kidding. I was worried about that first, though, because a lot of them were just first-person shooters, but they definitely delivered. First thing they did was that Project Scorpio, is now officially called Xbox One X. It's, from what they kept boasting, the most powerful console ever, which, I mean, duh, if technology is going to get better, consoles are going to get better. That's just a big old duh. I mean, I'm pretty sure the next generation we have is going to be more powerful, but whatever. I don't remember the specific specs because I just won't be able to remember that and won't be able to write it down fast enough. But it definitely seemed impressive. Let's see. They showed off the capability of 4K resolution on the Xbox One X with Forza 7, which, okay. But then they also premiered, world premiere, not just for gaming, but for, overall cars in general. They world premiere some, Porsche, I'm not a big car guy, but that was a sexy-ass car. Wow. I'm the kind of guy who just says, if it's comfy and I like driving it, it works. I'm not the kind of guy who knows everything about cars, but that was a sexy car. Wow. And then afterwards, they showed a new Metro game, which was Metro Exodus, which I never played any Metro game before, and surprisingly, I somehow knew it was Metro before it even said Metro. Don't ask me how. It looked cool, but I mean, it's just another post-apocalyptic first-person shooter with mutants and blah 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 blah. I mean, if the game's good, that's completely fine. But just from looking at it, it's okay, it looks pretty, yes, but it's another mutant game. They finally showed the new Assassin's Creed, which is Assassin's Creed Origins, which takes place in Egypt. And I'm not a big Assassin's Creed fan at all, but the game looks pretty. But it seems like, from what the little I know of the story of Assassin's Creed, it seems to kind of contradict a lot of it. I don't think Ubisoft really cares, but I mean, it's just something I kind of noticed. I mean, there's definitely a lot of potential with it, don't get me wrong. But I feel like this is probably more for the Assassin's Creed fans to analyze than me. But it definitely looked cool. You're able to use your pet bird to, scout out the area and see certain enemies you need to see certain enemies you need to kill. You have a couple more techniques, but the main combat still looks clunky, as always. I don't think they're ever going to fix that. The next thing they had was PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which I guess was some big MMO FPS, I think. Right? Let me see my notes. Yeah, I think so. I think there's some big MMO FPS where you have 100 players and you need to be the last one standing. It's a deathmatch game. I'm sure it's probably popular somewhere, but whatever. You also had Deep Rock Galactic, which was another shooter, but it had really, really stylish graphics. Really, not really cartoony, but it definitely looked really cool, and it definitely had cel shading in it. But yeah, that's why I was getting worried early on because the next game after that was State of Decay 2. Which was, hey, zombies and shooting and more generic stuff. So I'm thinking oh, great, so they're going to do a wide variety of shooters. Okay. And then they showed, the Darwin Project, which was some kind of MMO. It looked kind of like an esport type of game. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it looked cool, but it wasn't really my thing. But I think in my opinion, I think the conference really got better once they showed Dragon Ball FighterZ with a Z. And it's not just because I'm a Dragon Ball fan at all. I just think literally after they got past all the shooters, okay, now let's crack down on the good games. Let's keep going. And Dragon Ball FighterZ, oh boy. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, but dear lord, it looks fantastic. And I'm honestly surprised that not only was it on a stage, not something in the background, but it was on Xbox of all things. I could think maybe Sony or Nintendo, mostly Sony or Nintendo showing it. But of all things Xbox, that actually surprised me. But damn, it looks gorgeous, and I'm pretty sure that it could be probably one of the most chaotic 2D fighters ever made. I'll probably have to look more into it, but God, it was beautiful. Black Desert was the next game, which was an MMORPG. And it kind of looks like, I don't know if it's Western made, but you can definitely tell it takes influence from like a lot of Japanese games. I don't know if there's a lot of Dragon's Dogma in there, honestly. But I don't know if it's Western made or Eastern made, but if it was Western made, it takes a lot of influence from a lot of Eastern games. But I mean, it just seemed like an MMORPG. Might have to look up more stuff with it. The next game was really cool, was The Last Night, NIGHT, not like some kind of weird Batman pun with K in it. No, but it looks like, imagine the world of Blade Runner, but with these really, really, really cool and really well done animated pixel art. Like, it's hard to describe it. Oh my god. The main graphics looked like 3D, but then the characters look like they are completely pixel art, but move like they're 3D. It's not like one of those games. It's not like one of those games where like, oh, here's like some kind of retro skin, and they do some kind of weird, shitty, crappy thing with it. Or like say like with Ratchet and Clank, and they had the pixelizer, and it looks really out of place. It doesn't look like that at all. It looks like it blends really well, and I'm not sure what type of game it is, if it's like a point and click or a platformer or something. But it looks awesome, and I hope that's not Xbox One exclusive, because I want that for my PS4 really bad. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can check more into that. That looked really cool. And then the next game they had was also a 2D game, which was The Artful Escape, which definitely looks more like a platformer, and it has to deal with some guitarist. I don't know. He had a guitar with him. It was artful. It looked beautiful. It looked really good. Not much to say about it. They showed the same trailer for Code Vein, which I'm so excited for. But they just showed the same trailer again, I guess, just to show the general populace who doesn't know that exists yet. Just, hey, look at this cool game. I have a lot of stuff I probably want to talk about that, but I'm going to save it for either some other conference or probably never, depending on how I feel. But it's definitely on my radar. They showed a lot for Sea of Thieves. They finally showed us like a lot more than just like the generic stuff they had last time, and this seems like a full-on cartoonish pirate game. Like, think about what pirates are besides the raping and pillaging. Okay, a little more child-friendly, I guess. Think more like Pirates of the Caribbean Pirates, but think like a cool Pirates of the Caribbean Pirates game with cartoony graphics and everything. It looks good. The sword fighting seems okay. The guns seem good. The really cool thing I like is how you can actually shoot yourself out of cannon, and even though it's really cartoony and funny, you can do probably really tactical things with that, which is awesome. The narrator, I don't think it's going to be in the game, but if it is, it's actually one thing where Rare's humor is not aging too well, because I recently, if you look at my channel, which again, nobody's listening, so nobody cares, but I thought I'd just say this. If you look at my channel, I did Is Yooka-Laylee Worth It? And I mentioned how, even though Playtonic Games is not directly Rare, they used to work at Rare, and the humor in that game was just off. Like, it just didn't work, and it seems like the case this time again. Like, I didn't laugh at anything that the narrator said, but I was focusing on the gameplay, and the gameplay looks like a very fun, kick-ass pirate game that, it's Xbox One exclusive because it's Rare, so I probably won't get it, but I will definitely look into it and see other people playing it, and it looks like it could be a really cool time. I wonder, though, because they showed islands and waypoints, I hope it's not just going to islands and find treasure. I hope there's a little more to it, because I seem like if it is like a big MMO, MMOs, even if it is a big like online game, it seems like that could still get boring if you just go from island to get the treasure, and go into island to get the treasure, and the occasional other pirate ship, and maybe some storms, something like that. I feel like there's maybe more you could do, like say towns, or maybe something even more mystical kind of stuff, but we'll see how it goes. It's still early on. Tacoma, they had some res-looking space game that they showed like nothing for, so I'm gonna move past that. Super Lucky's Tale, which is something I didn't expect from this developer, well, not developer, something I didn't expect from Xbox at all, was not only a platformer, but a cutesy platformer. I bet the hardcore gamers like myself are, we're all excited for it, but I bet the Dude Bros like, what is this baby shit? I'm hanging out in Dude Bros a lot, aren't I? Anyway, so Super Lucky's Tale seems like your very cutesy, generic platformers of old, kind of like if the gameplay of Mario with the cartoonish look of Conker, not the humor, not the humor or the adult themes, but the cartoonish look of it, if they kind of merge together. So it's Super Mario's Tale. That's terrible. Yeah, I mean, it looks generic, but I mean, it seems like it could be fun. I will see if it's for PS4, and I might pick it up, depending. But it seems like it could be really cool. And actually, something I forgot to mention is that how well this presentation was done. In that, they did talk. I mean, that's fine. I expect them to talk. And early on, they were fine. But once they got to Dragon Ball FighterZ, I really think that was the catalyst for things to get good. And not just because I'm a Dragon Ball fan. I think if you actually look at the videos and you hate Dragon Ball, the pace of the conference just got better, where there was less talking and just game after game after game after game after game, and they were all exciting. And the conference was really well done. I did not expect that. Right now, Xbox is winning, but then again, they're only competing against EA. So, and we still got, as this recording, we still got Bethesda, Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo. But as of right now, Xbox is actually winning, and I caught me off by surprise, but hey, if it works, it works. Okay, back to this. They showed Cuphead, finally, thank God. I'm not gonna play it because again, it's Xbox One exclusive, but it actually has a release date. It's not in limbo. It's actually coming out September, so a couple months away. That's fantastic. As long as there's no more delays, we can get an original game again. I'm joking about the last part, but still, it's awesome. I'm finally glad for people who are going to get Cuphead that they're finally going to get the game that they want. And they showed Crackdown 3, which they hired Terry Crews for some really cringy live-action thing, like a lot of video game things are. Not all of them, but a lot of them are pretty cringy when they're in live-action, they have action, stuff like that. But then they did show gameplay, and it seems like Crackdown, I've never been a big Crackdown guy, but it seems like it could be fun. And then they showed off a bunch of indie games in a row, and there's like three that caught my eye. The first one is Unruly Heroes, where it seems like an action game, a 2D action game in the vein of, say, Dust and Elysian Tale, but it honestly seemed like it had the exact same graphics as like the Rayman Origins, especially Rayman Legends, Rayman Legends games. I don't think it's Ubisoft doing it, but it was just a quick look, so it was hard to tell. I might have to go back and look at it after this. But it seemed really like Rayman Legends graphics with Dust Elysian Tales gameplay, kind of, which could be a really cool mix. And I think there was co-op, because I think I saw more than one person. But like I said, it was a quick thing. There was Brawlout, which was just a 3D Smash clone, but I think there's some like early access available for it, and I heard it was pretty fun. All I saw was the one video on it, but it seemed like it could be cool. So if that's available, I might get it. There's one game that also was another quick thing that I had to go back and look at, was Shift, I think it was called. I'm about to go back and find the name of that. I think it was Shift, where it looked like another, honestly, Dust-looking game, but it looked like it had a similar style to Slice, Dice, and Rice, just without being let's say 2D Slice, Dice, and Rice. But it seemed like that could be freaking awesome, honestly. If that's really what I think it is, it looks like it could be cool. Then they showed Ashen, which I'm going to call for now Xbox's Bloodborne, because it's not from Software, and it's a co-op game, you can tell. But you can tell it also definitely takes some stuff from Souls games. I'm not sure it's going to be like a full-on like Souls clone like some of the other ones were, like say Neo or the Surge or whatever. But I think it's probably going to be some similarities. But yes, it definitely looks like it could be a good game. The graphics, I think it was in pre-alpha, so they might need some work. They don't need to be highly realistic, but they are still a little choppy, and like the fact that nobody has a face is a little Uncanny Valley. No, Uncanny Valley, it's just a little creepy, I guess. Uncanny Valley is something else. It's just a little creepy. But yeah, that could be a cool game if we see a lot more of it. They showed the Life is Strange prequel, which I've seen some stuff on Life is Strange, but I never played it. A lot of stuff I haven't played. So I think this takes place. Well, obviously it's prequel, so it takes place before the main game. But I think it deals with, what was her name, Chloe? Yeah, I think it looked like her. It deals with Chloe before she went Super Saiyan Blue. So that could be cool, I guess, for people to play that. The next thing they showed a lot of was Shadow of War, which I didn't play Shadow of Mordor, and I really should have. I don't really feel like going back to do it though. It seems like the core gameplay, like the hack and slash gameplay, hasn't changed, but everything else seems to have been improved drastically. Like the graphics have been improved, still need a little work, but definitely have improved. The Nemesis system seems to have gotten the biggest upgrade out of like everything, because the Nemesis system was a great thing in the first game from what I've researched and what I've heard, but it seems that they upped it huge this time, and now like not only can you have Nemesis, whatever. Not only can you have multiple Nemesi, but you can also like recruit them or just straight up kill them. It's up to you, because you recruit them for like armies for like sieges and stuff like that, because you're going deeper into Mordor, so you probably need more help. That's pretty cool. I might play it, might not sure, but it definitely looks like something that Shadow Mordor fans would love, because it seems like take what's good about the first game, put that exact same stuff in the second game, and whatever didn't work in the first game, take it out, and what does work, improve on it like a sequel should be. The good stuff, better. They showed a quick thing for the Ori sequel, which was Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which, looks beautiful, and it's probably going to be a Metroidvania style game, but yeah, it's definitely good for Ori fans, because I heard that's not underrated, but I heard like not too many people know about it, but the ones who do know about it are like love it, and it's a fantastic game. So for people who enjoyed the first one, second one's great, or will be great, I guess. There was one thing that people, I can tell by the audience, love to hear, is that after they said, once we had the whole Xbox One backwards compatible with Xbox 360, they then announced that it's also going to be backwards compatible with Xbox original games, like the original Xbox, which I would love to call Xbox One, but I can't. So Xbox One's going to be backwards compatible with original Xbox games. So that's good. And then the final thing they showed was Anthem, which was the new EA BioWare game, which, first off, of course, EA has to come on stage and be like, hey, remember what you didn't like about our conference? The fact that we always talked? Let's do that again, except on Xbox's conference stage. But they didn't do it too long, so I guess that was good. The game looks beautiful. It looks really good. I hope it's not a case where we might get a downgrade. I know it's more Ubisoft's turf to do that. Not turf. I'm always mixing my words on these unscripted videos. Ugh. I know it's more Ubisoft's thing to like, let's show something really pretty E3, but then downgrade it to shit when we release it. But this game, I hope it doesn't get a downgrade, because that looks beautiful. Beautiful. It really does look good. I wasn't even watching 4K. I was watching 1080p, and it looked great. If this is the case where you could actually just fly around this gigantic open world, that would fulfill one of my gaming fantasies about being able to actually fly in a game and it being cool. Because I haven't had many games where not only can you not fly, but sometimes if you can, it's like maybe like gliding, or gliding is fine. But I mean, why we should have more games with like full on flying that works. Last thing I think that has like full on flying was Superman Returns for the Xbox 360, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't even that good. So that looks good. Of course, the one thing I'm still a little upset about when I saw Anthem was that it's an RPG, but of course, because it's BioWare, it has to be guns. You have an RPG, you can have guns, that's fine, but you can give us so much more variety with this whole new sci-fi world with all this cool technology, and we still just have basic-ass guns. You can still have guns in the game, that's fine, but if it's an RPG, you can give us more. You can give us swords, you can give us guns, you can give us very futuristic weapons, you can give us even just normal melee punch and kick in combat. You can do so much, but they always limit themselves to just guns. So the whole thing, like them being like RPG people, like masters, is a little meh. You can tell this wasn't the same team as whoever worked on Andromeda, because this looks like this could be a good game. Unless it's the case like they just made it look good for E3. But this could be a fantastic game if done right. So if it comes on PS4, I will be excited to see it. Then probably play it. We'll see. But so yeah, those are my thoughts. I guess the things I'm most excited on are Dragon Ball FighterZ, Code Vein, The Last Night, Unruly Heroes, Shift, and then probably Anthem, because I can't play Ashen. So yeah, and the conference itself, because it was really presented very well, like very professionally done. There were pretty much no hiccups, almost no cringe, which I'm surprised on. And the fact that they showed, like I said, game after game after game after game was actually very good to do. So yeah, that was Microsoft's conference, and those are my very terrible and poorly worded thoughts on it. For anyone listening, which again is nobody, because nobody. Pity me more. No, I'm kidding. Come back tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Later today. Whenever this video goes up, afterwards it's going to be a Bethesda thing. So next is going to be Bethesda.